Hey, what's up, family? Peace to the guys and goddesses. I'm on my way to the gym because I don't want to be normal. I don't want to be normal. You understand me? I don't want to be normal. There's a lot of people who are okay with being normal. I'm not okay with it. But before I get into that, I was listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he was talking yesterday in this lecture that I posted. And he was explaining, the environment in which things are okay in. And he was explaining, he said, if, we all originate from an infinitesimal small life force, right? That is unseen, but it's so powerful when that life force, that sperm reaches that ovum, and then it starts to bring life. You understand me? So, and I was listening to this, but he was saying that when you think about that, people think about that as a beautiful process because it's powerful. Like, we all start off, right, from nothing, right? And he say, if in a different context, in a different environment, right? If you're going somewhere and you see sperm on the floor, you see sperm on the handle, you're gonna jump and you're gonna be disgusted, right? But he say, shit, we all start just like that, right? We start nothing, right? He said we start nothing. Now he say out of the proper environment. You understand me? All right. He say out of the proper environment. It's disgusting, the beginning, because you have to become something, right? So, and I had to think about that. I said, God damn, we all did start like that. But if you really did see like a sperm out of place somewhere, some semen on the floor, the ground handle or something, you'll be disgusted by it. But that's literally how we all start off. That's nothing, right? You have to go through a process to become something. But I also was thinking about how the fact that, you can be made of the right thing. Your beginning and what you are can be right, but in a wrong environment, in the wrong context, right? And if you're not in the wrong environment, you understand me, then you can't properly develop. And so sometimes you can see people who are not living at their potential, right? That's like, if you see somebody who was once famous and now they're working as a janitor, right? And you're not going to have the same respect for them. You're like, damn, bro, you used to be, I seen your potential. You could have grown to become this. This is not the right environment for you. You kind of disgusted by that fact. You kind of disgusted by that fact. Because in this environment, you're nothing. In that environment, you are shining to become what you're supposed to become. You understand me? And so there's a lot of us that are in the wrong environment, so people look at you as nothing. People look at you as nothing. Yeah, the black people in America are like that in many different ways. He say, you can be disgusted by a person because of where they are in their position, because you know that they're supposed to be developing and they're supposed to blossom and they're supposed to become something great. And it's not that they're nothing, it's that the environment that they're in makes them nothing. And the context in which they're in. When you're supposed to be living as a king, you're supposed to be living within passion and purpose and authority and right and revolution. You understand me? So, but if you take that person and they're not living within that particular truth that their nature is supposed to be within, then you look at them as lowly and nothing. So, because that sperm anywhere else outside of where it's supposed to be, right? Because we all start from nothing. Like, that could literally have been you on the sidewalk, on the pillow, on the sock, or wherever the hell you would have possibly been. But we go from that, and he was explaining how when we go from that, when you go from that and you in the darkness, because everything is made in the darkness. This is the beautiful parody of life, is just a parody of birth. You understand me? The process of birth, going from nothing, right? And then you meet that ovum, and now you start that process, right, of becoming. And in that process of becoming, right, you start to become a lump of like material. And then that material starts to form into, you know, a body, right? You start to get, you know, eyes and legs and hearts and all of those different things that you need. Yes, BWO is international, right? And then once you do that, you are being born, right? And after your mother gives, you know, what's called birth to you, and now you come out, but still as a baby, even though you're born with everything that you need, but you don't know anything. You don't know anything. So then there's another process that you have to go through to develop, right? And so after you come in, but he was explaining like the baby has a natural intelligence. You're so smart, you can learn how to crawl, learn how to walk just by observing. But I was thinking, I say, damn, imagine if, because, you know, a lot of people can't understand their programming, but imagine if you were born in the jungle and you never seen people before. You were born in the jungle and you never seen people before. You will probably be walking. You'll probably be like Tarzan. You may not become an upright human being, because if you only see people who crawl, then you may stay crawling. Your back may have a curvature in it, right? To where you never stand up and become an erect man. And so even if you're born with the right things, you have to see the right thing to become fully ingrained into your potential. You have to become fully ingrained into your potential. And so that is a beautiful idea, because it's like, when, as you're growing through this growth and development phases, and I think about it like, damn, that person probably been barking like a dog. They wouldn't know language. They wouldn't know ideology. They wouldn't know science. They wouldn't know religion. They wouldn't know none of these things. They would just be instinctual. You will be like the beast in the field, as he explains. And as you just like the beast in the field, because you don't learn how to use your mind, how to think. And see, the beauty of being in the environment of other human beings that have learned to maximize their potential, because what the problem is that oftentimes we're not looking at the people who went from nothing to maximizing themselves. See, this is why the smartest and the greatest ones are supposed to be the ones that are exalted and lead, so that those who are developing themselves have the opportunity to develop themselves based on the greatest blueprint. Because when you in the hoods of America, and you remember, you could be like the beast in the field, because you in the hoods in America, you're following other people who are beasts in the field. Or they killing and murdering each other. They drinking. They doing all of the wrong things. So you develop and watch that. Your mind mimics and mirrors, and that's what you learn to do that. Then you protect that and love that what you are, because that is the safety of a human being. But that same thing would have happened if you were around literal animals in the jungle. You would have developed a love for that lifestyle as well. But now if you grew up and you were nothing but around the most intelligent people on the planet Earth, the people who have the greatest customs, the greatest norms, the greatest principles, the greatest values, with the greatest thinking, then you would be like them, of the highest level of civilization, the highest level of righteousness and order and thinking. But if you grow up in a low level environment, then you become low level, and then you protect the low level, because now that's who you are, and you just protecting yourself at this point. So many of us grew up in that jungle, but it's a concrete jungle, right? You in that household, you grow up and you're like that household. Well, we do this because of this. Well, that's, yeah, That's because you were nothing when you learned it, and that turned you into that. But if you were in the best environment, then you could have become a god. See, if you're around people who have the nature of gods, then that's what you can become. If you're around people who have the nature of devils, that's what you become. They have the nature of dogs, that's what you become. You know, so you have to look at yourself and say, damn, I am the product of my environment. I am the product of this programming. So what do I need to do in order to become to that next level, in order to develop into that next level? See, that's the beauty of human beings. We have neuroplasticity, so our brain can change. It is malleable. We're not stuck being one way, but you have to have a will to want to change. So that child that could have been born in that jungle, he may have been like those beasts. He may have started growling and walking, but it's going to be something in his mind that will let him know, nah, you can be different. And all he needs is somebody to show him. To show. That's all you need. Is you need exposure often. In the hood, we need exposure. Somebody show me something different. He see a human being one time. That's all it would take. One time. And then the thought is deeply supplanted in the mind now. Now he starts to get visions of himself walking upright. One time he sees a man doing something and he gets a vision, oh, I can do the same. Now he has to be taught. He has to be reconditioned. He may have to go to a chiropractor, somebody that can help with the spinal issues of walking on all fours his whole life. But the potential is still there. And the more you stay in a low-level B state, the more correction you need in order to become godlike. Because God walks upward. That's what you have to know. Upward. Upward.